I got this delicious apple dumpling recipe from an Amish cookbook many, many years ago. We have loved it every year since. Let me show you how to make it. The first thing I'll get started is a saucepan, a medium-sized saucepan, and in it I'll add 2 cups of water, 2 cups of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of butter. I use salted butter, and then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Cook that over medium heat until it starts to boil. The mixture will start to come to a boil, and you'll just mix and stir after it starts boiling for about 1 minute. It won't be super thick at this point. You'll pour the syrup over the apple dumplings, and while the apple dumplings bake, it'll actually get a little bit thicker. After it's boiled for about 1 minute, I'm going to remove it from the heat, and I'll just let that sit and cool off slightly while we get the rest of the apple dumplings ready. Next, we'll prepare the apples. I use Granny Smith apples just because they are great for baking. The tart apple pairs perfectly with the sugar in the recipe. I'm going to peel, core, and slice the apple with this little tool. This recipe makes enough for 6 apple dumplings. Granny Smith will stay a little bit more firm than some apples, so if you would like a softer apple, choose a different type. Honeycrisp is delicious also. Now we use a whole apple in each dumpling, but I take off these little parts of the apple that have the skin still on. You don't have to do that if you don't care about it. If you would like smaller apple dumplings, cut the apple in half and only use half of an apple per dumpling, and that way you get more servings. In this bowl, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'll add 2½ teaspoons of baking soda and ½ teaspoon of salt. I'll whisk that together. And then add 2/3 cup of room temperature butter. And I use a pastry cutter just to cut that butter in. The butter won't totally be blended in, but you'll have just little pieces of butter. And at that point, add in ½ cup of milk. And then stir that together. You'll end up with a really soft dough, and I'm going to split that 6 ways because we're making 6 apple dumplings. The next step is to pat or roll out the dough into a circle. We'll sprinkle just a tiny bit of flour down. You can really, if you don't have a rolling pin, probably just press it. And then take an apple, put it in the middle, and fold the dough up and over. I kind of pat around and squeeze just to form the dough to the apple. Then you can set that aside. We love this homemade dough, but if you'd like a shortcut, you can easily take your favorite pie crust recipe and use that, or even use store-bought pie crust and just put the apple dumplings together the same way. Use a 9x13 baking pan, spray it, and then put the apple dumplings in and pour this over the top. I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. This will bake for probably about 45 to 60 minutes. So just watch them closely, plan for at least 45 minutes, and just use a fork to test to see how soft the apples are until they are the doneness you like. Warm apple dumplings always need to be served with ice cream. Head over to tastesoflizzyt.com to print out this amazing fall recipe. If you try it and you love it, we'd love for you to share a picture over on Instagram and let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.